Why on earth did I spend £47.19 on this, I guess we could call it faulty Xbox Series S? I don't know. I'd say that I fancied a challenge, but this is beyond the challenge. In fact, you'll even see on the original eBay listing that this was exactly what it said on the tin. I wasn't scammed. You can clearly see from the pictures, this is exactly what I've received. And if I go down to the description of that eBay listing, you'll never guess what it says. Faulty for parts. Doesn't say exactly what's wrong with it. It could be, you know, let's say it's missing the power button. It could be that it is quite literally falling apart. It could just be something as simple as the front USB port isn't working, or it looks like it's been ran over by a tank. The goal here, investigate and see if there is any way, shape or form that I can restore or fix this console. This is probably, I would go ahead and say, the worst condition console that I've ever purchased on eBay. And I don't really know where to start. Probably with taking this piece of newspaper or whatever this is out of the chassis would be a good place to begin. The whole thing is wrecked. It's safe to say, oh, this could make a pretty cool ornament. I guess somewhere to put a cup of coffee or something. The plan of action for me is to even just see if I can get it on. Perhaps I could potentially look to rescue the motherboard. The SSDs on the Xbox Series X's are actually bound to the motherboard itself. So the plan is take both of those components and maybe even put them into a new chassis to see if we can get it working, which I'm not very hopeful. I'm actually scared to even look at this. I'm not gonna test the power supply. I don't think there's a need to, if I'm honest. Is this thing hanging on for dear life with a screw? Oh, good news. It looks like it hasn't been opened before. So we've got a warranty sticker here that is actually intact. Look at the state of those ports. That is the, I don't even know if that's the HD. No, that's a USB port right there. So that's USB. That's the HDMI port, which actually looks okay. We've got the power here, which also seems all right. We've got some mysterious substance located in the back hole of this console as well. Going to be an interesting one. Can't believe I'm actually having to do this, but I can't. I mean, I could just snap this off, but there's not really necessarily a need to. So I'm just going to take off the warranty sticker part there and use a T8 screw bit here to take this off. There we go. And now we are free. I'm going to hazard a guess and say that this was found in maybe like a local tip and it was just outside or something like that. Maybe even outside somebody's house. I can't even begin to guess what actually happened to it though. Some sort of, do you know what? Maybe some sort of angry relationship that occurred in this scenario. Even then, it doesn't really explain this. Like how does that happen? It looks like it's just kind of rusted away over time or something. I've got no idea. If I can get this working, it would be a miracle, to say the least. Let's begin taking out... Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's just kind of spinning around. And I guess that makes sense. I'm going to have to, like, hold on to this or something to stop it from spinning. Ow. Right, first screw down. Lovely jubbly. I also have to be super careful about the power supply because I have no idea what's going on from that perspective. All the plastics are just completely bent in here, making it really difficult to get the screws out. Oh, that kind of makes sense as well, I guess. The screw itself is bent. Look at that. Okay, so we've managed to take the chassis off, and it is just horrendous. Look at that. Wow. How's this looking? So this is like the inner chassis part, and to be honest, you know, I mean, the fan is still, from what I can see, like rotating inside here. So maybe it is just like the metal itself. Oh, well, I think that button board has seen better days. Would you look at that? Wow. Okay. Yeah, I think that's definitely seen better days. Onwards and upwards with the screw, I guess. I think now would be a great opportunity to say, just leave a comment down below saying if you think I'm going to fix this or not. You tell me, what do you think? And then come back to your comment at the end of the video. The actual connector of the board. So there's meant to be a connector piece that goes here on the back, which is soldered on to the PCB, has still been left inside of the console. And I don't know. Oh, there we go. It's come off. I actually had no idea that that's how that worked. So again, it just kind of slots in there and solders on. And that is the front connector for the power button. I think it's just the power button, isn't it? Yeah. So you got a pretty simple basic LED and power button PCB here. Wow. And that is just completely split in half. Don't even know if you could bend that back. No. No, you can't. And I can't take off the front board because that bit is bent down. I should be able to just bend that up, I think, without damaging my tweezers. There we go. Okay. You know what? That's a little bit bent, so I don't know if it would work or not. I believe this is for the Wi-Fi. Ah, no, I think the chip might be broke on this. Okay. And this one on the side as well. This one looks like it's had a little bit of liquid damage on the actual board, which wouldn't surprise me if this has been left outside. I'll also probably stress at this point, don't do what I do and buy stuff like this. There's no need. I'm doing it purely for content and entertainment purposes only. If I can salvage a couple of parts from this, that'll be a win. If I can fix it, it'll be even better. But I wouldn't buy this necessarily to make money. Let's put it that way. This isn't coming off because of the fact I've still got one screw here, but I can't get this out because there is just a piece of plastic spinning here. That calls for my needle noses. Right, so needle nose there, screw there. Look at this piece of magician engineering that we have. There we go. Bonjour, Rodney. All right, should we take this off now? Which I think, yes, we can. Ready? How is it? Well, again, this could probably, it would take a while, but it could be bent back to normal. You know, there is only, like, the main part of this chassis is actually okay. It just needs, like, bending back in a few places. Especially over here. Yeah, this isn't looking great. I don't have the patience nor skill to probably get away and do that. Oh, that USB port is absolutely mashed up. Let me just take the fan out. This, oh my gosh, even this is wrecked. I'll show you that in a second, but oh no, I was going to say the fan's okay, but then I see this massive crack in the fan. I don't think I'm going to be walking away with any parts here. I'm super excited to see what the PCB looks like, if I'm honest with you. Oh my gosh, I've just noticed the amount of dust and debris recording on my phone now, so you might be able to get a better look, but look how much dirt and everything is on my desk from this console alone. Let's I'm going to take some of the other screws off as well now, just to show you as well that I'm not playing. I do have my mini little fire extinguisher nearby, okay, just in case things do go a little bit south, which I really hope that they don't. Thing is, if this has been left outside, which, you know, by the looks of things, it does look like that is the case, that power supply specifically, whew, I don't even want to know. These power supplies are big as well. Whoa. Well, that's just spinning, and that's just spinning, which definitely isn't good, because I'm pretty sure they, oh no, wait a minute, they might just screw into the heatsink, so still not good. But can I take out the power supply now? I can. Yeah, I would not trust that in any way, shape or form. Can we see you've got the corrosion around the out of this power supply? Or should I say in, sorry, so that's the AC in, so the AC, your power lead goes in here, and these are the two prongs that connect to your actual Xbox Series S to give it power, which is located down here, actually. But yeah, this power supply itself, that is going straight in the e-waste. I am not going to attempt to try and fix that. I mean, look, that's even coming open. Not for me. Nah. Motherboard, talk to me. Are ye savable or not? Let's just, okay, let's just remove this USB port. Let's just put that to the side. As you do, they just come off, don't they? Maybe that's a new feature of the Xbox Series S consoles, that you got hot swappable USB ports, hey? I don't know what this is. It's like some goo or something in there. That's disgusting. Oh, it could be anything. This is rank, absolutely rank. I can't seem to actually pull the motherboard out, so I think the screw situation on the back has to be sorted first. I know it's going to sound like a shock to people, but I wanted to see if I could get away without these ones. Gonna have to try with the needle noses again, aren't I? I think there's a couple of stands here. Is this gonna work? Wish me luck. Here we go. Yeah, buddy. Nice. Same with another one I got down here. Wish me luck. Come on. Oh, whoa. Okay. Well, I've nearly got it. It's very close. Look, I don't think I'm going to do any more damage to this console than what's already happened. So I think we're okay in terms of that front. I can lift it out. All right, this is cool. Let me just try and bend this chassis back. Can I just be very careful here and get this out of this? Come on, please. Don't do this to me. I'm going to have to break and bend the chassis here to try and get this board out, I think. Where else is it bent? I think over here, look. Ugh. And this bit here as well. So bend that out. Come on. Yo. Yeah. We done it. Well, again, here's the bottom chassis. Not going to be useful, unfortunately, unless, again, you was to just bend it back into place, which you probably could. I don't have the skills. Okay, I kind of want to just get a Hoover quickly and sort all of that out. Hang about. On the back, we also have hot pluggable, swappable USB ports as well, so that must be a new feature that Microsoft have given us, which is the ability to take off USB ports. This heat sink is mashed up. Where's the one tool to rule them all? Here it is, the Xbox clamp removal tool. Look at that. Still ridiculously easy. Okay, so APU, interestingly enough, so this thing here, graphics mixed in with the CPU, looks to be fine. Untouched, lovely jubbly. But not everything else is as, clean as it seems. Let me show you under the scope what it looks like we're dealing with. Here's the SSD, by the way, which, to be honest with you, again, I need to get under the scope to inspect because I can see little bits of liquid damage and corrosion. Nonetheless, dare I say, there might be a small chance I can save this motherboard. Maybe. Now, there is no easy way to say this. It has been liquid damaged. We can see, look, these caps here, some of them look like they are almost entirely written off. In fact, some of the ceramic around it might be a goner. Look, that is not to say we can't restore it though. The only time we're going to have issues is when components just don't want to stay on the board, and to be honest with you, that seems all right. Like, it's hanging on in there. And is it the same with this one as well? Perhaps. What are these little components? They're all little caps. I don't actually know. We've got two caps here, which again have seen better days, but you've then got areas of the board that are relatively clear. I mean, that this part wasn't a great example, but if you look at the area specifically behind the APU, which is again the CPU and the GPU combined, look, absolutely spotless. But then if we go just over to the main power rail of where that is, then we seem to have further issues. Now, there might be some shorts on this board. I have no idea. I'd be extremely surprised if there was no shorts, but we can see as well, we've got what's called the ESD filter here, which is responsible for filtering the signal from the HDMI port and the HDMI port itself. Look at that. That has been swimming with Poseidon himself. And yet, despite all of this, the reason why I think there might be a small chance to save it is because I have now an ultrasonic cleaner. What does that do? I'm super glad you asked, Joey, but before I tell you exactly what the ultrasonic cleaner does and how it works, I need to prepare the board for the dunk. Located by my pointy finger is some sort of thermal putty that you see on the Xbox Series S and X consoles, as well as what you're used to seeing, thermal paste. I cannot put the putty or the thermal paste inside the ultrasonic cleaner because it would simply cause a mess, and for that reason I need to completely get it off the board. Here's what the ultrasonic cleaner does in simple Joey terms. The cleaner itself uses high frequency sound waves. It sends the sound waves through the liquid that's inside the ultrasonic cleaner, which by the way is deionized water mixed with some sort of cleaning soap. The sound waves create tiny bubbles in the liquid, and this process is called cavitation. Those bubbles quickly form, then collapse, releasing small bursts of energy. And basically those little bursts clean the board. Essentially, in layman terms, it cleans the board with sound, and the results speak for themselves. Whilst it doesn't get rid of every single little bit of corrosion or water damage, it is clearly a vast improvement on what it was previously. And just from having that little clean, have we managed to save this Xbox Series S from the bin? It's almost time to find out. Here art thou board in question. Nice, clean fighting machine. I haven't actually sorted out the USB ports, one at the front and one at the back, because I need to know if it actually powers on first. That would be a great start. Introducing also the donor chassis that I have for the console, which is pretty spotless. However, doesn't have a power supply. So I needed to buy one. I done exactly that for a total of £44.10. Get it out of the box. This is the first time I've actually seen this power supply. I don't know if I caught that on camera, but there is a little bit of plastic that's broken off from it, which isn't ideal, and it's come from this little leg just here. It looks like a used power supply, judging by all the fingerprints and everything, but I have been told it's genuine. I'm gonna go ahead and open up this, put the motherboard in, and we'll go from there. Before I go ahead and actually try and plug this in and get no power and go, what's going on? I just need to make sure that the power supply itself has 12 volts and is working, which it is, 12 volts, perfect. Luckily as well, this chassis has also got some thermal putty, which will come in handy. But I am going to place the old stuff also back on the board. And of course, give it the completely incorrect amount of thermal paste. Place the new heatsink on the device that's from the donor. Give this RAM chip a bit of thermal putty as well. Boy, am I nervous. Couple of screws just for good measure. Fan on the top as well. Power supply, in you go. And here we have it. Plugging it in. What I'm looking for right now when I push this power button is the light to come on. If the light doesn't come on, I have no idea what I'm going to do, honestly. In 3, in 2, in 1. Here we go. Oh, okay. Well, I didn't have it in good enough. Let's try that again. 3, 2, 1. Oh, please stay on. It works. Okay. That was the most anticlimactic thing I've ever experienced in my whole entire life. I'm going to try it again for good measure. So we get the light but it turns straight off. That is a classic beep on, beep off scenario for an Xbox console. Now, the really upsetting, tedious, and stressful part of this situation we have here is that it could be absolutely anything on this board because the whole thing was submerged underwater. And it's now up to me to try and find what it is that's causing this beep on, beep off. Could be the SSD, could be the south bridge, could be a plethora of things on this board, maybe even a tiny, tiny little resistor. And I'm going to see if I can find the fault. I'll save you some time and cut a real long story short here. I've tried a bunch of different things. This is actually an M.2 reader, and I've transferred all the data that we would have had on this board. Remember how I said they were paired? I've transferred the data from this SSD to another SSD, tried that to no avail. I have checked for shorts on all of the voltage rails. They all seem to be absolutely A-OK. There is not a single capacitor on this board that is shorted, nor, from what I can tell, is there a component missing. The only chip on the board that's getting hot is this little guy right here, but I've measured all around that chip and it seems to be exactly the same as it is on this donor board. As well as that, the SSD was getting a little bit toasty, which is why I decided to just swap the data from this one over to another one and try that, but it didn't work. So I spent a good hour, I'd say now, trying to diagnose what's wrong with this board, but like I said, it's water damage, so it could be absolutely anything. And all the voltage rails check out fine. It's obviously happening after that initial boot. However, that might not be the end. This right here is a donor board, which I acquired all of the chassis parts from, but it didn't have a power supply. And in my head, I was thinking, why does that not have a power supply? I had no notes about this Series S that was just sat in my loft. So I attempted to power it on, and it had no power, completely dead. And then I thought, well, whilst I've got everything out, my multimeter and all the stuff that I need to diagnose, why not see if I can just get this one working? I have no idea why it doesn't power on. And this board is in relatively good condition. It's still got the thermal paste on, the old one anyway. And after a little bit of probing, I found this. On this coil here, if I go to check it in continuity mode, we have a short. So this board has a short somewhere. I have already injected 0.5 of a volt and it's given me 1 amp, but it's not showing me anything on the board that's getting hot. So my next bait is going to be to remove the coil and see what side that short is coming from and then potentially inject some more voltage. So the Series S that you're seeing in this video, the one that was really badly water damaged, I might just end up having to use some components from it. But if I can use the components from this to fix another board, this has massively served its purpose. I've just removed that coil and the connections were here and here. What side of the coil is shorted? Let's find out. Is it this side? It is. Okay. So this side seems to be absolutely fine. I have no idea what rail this is. Really, I should be investigating that and having a look. But for the time being, all I know is that on this side here somewhere, we have something that's shorted. It could be one of these caps. Now, looking at these capacitors, it doesn't actually look like any of them show any signs of wear and tear where we could think, oh, they've blown up. So these caps might be okay. If I turn the board round, we do have these row of caps as well. But I don't know if this is exactly behind or if this is maybe a little bit further down. Let's see. No, okay, so these are shorted as well. Interesting. So maybe we just have a dodgy cap. What about this cap here? No, that cap's okay. But maybe one of these caps is going to lead to our fault. Now, it's quite warm from what you can see on the iPhone where I have the thermal camera that plugs into it. These are the caps that I'm looking at. I'm just going to inject in 3, 2, 1. Any of these caps? Doesn't look like it, does it? No, it doesn't look like any of these caps. So I'll turn that back over and we'll inject on this side again. 3, 2, 1. Anything look suspicious? No. Nowhere seems to be getting hot at all. How's that a thing? Oh, wait a minute. I think I found it. I think I found it. Hold on, because if this is a fix, I will be super happy. If you was to take a guess, number 1, 2, or 3, what cap would you say looks to be bad? Because I have no idea. I'm letting you know that now. I wouldn't have had a Scooby. You guys may have already seen. If I put some IPA just here and go to inject on this first one. I didn't really show it very clearly, but let me just put some IPA. Can you see I'm putting some IPA over these caps and which one's drying up the fastest? Again, you can't really tell. This isn't going very well for me, is it? There we go. Can you see? Right now. Ready? Number 3 on the right. See that? Boom. I think that's going to be our culprit. And if it is, I'm going to be so happy. The video will still end in a fail, I think. But maybe, potentially, at least we'll have one fixed Xbox Series S. And hopefully that gives you your fix of fixing. Take you off this little cap. Here we go. And to give you some context, this is a screw from the Xbox Series S. Look at that. Tiny, right? This is that screw next to this cap. Amazing. Let's see if this cap was bad. Multimeter's in continuity mode. Does it beep? Yes! We have a short. It's not meant to do that, by the way. Oh, wait a minute. Is that Did I see a little bit of a burn mark there? Hold on. Oh, whoa, look. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's underneath. That's why we didn't see it. It's underneath. Just there. Wow. If I measure, there we go. All right, that one's gone. This is this is the water damaged board. And by some miracle, these caps look absolutely fine. So I'm going to use one of these capacitors to put on the board that was just randomly in my loft. I have checked in continuity mode to make sure these aren't shorted, which they're not. There we go. And now we just go ahead and place that cap on the board. It's not perfectly aligned just yet, but I'm getting it in place, in position, and put in just a tiny amount of flux there. Lovely jubbly. Is our short gone? Yes, it is. There we go. Meter in continuity mode, and we don't have a short anymore. Lovely. Let's plug in the power supply and see if this one works. Is it going to work, or is all hope lost? And should I just stay away from Xbox Series S consoles for the rest of my life? Please fan spin, and please just stay on, because it had no power before at all. No beep, no light, no nothing. 3, 2, 1. Oh, please. Oh, I didn't put the coil back. Nothing to see here, peeps. Nothing at all. Like nothing happened. Should probably let that cool down for a few minutes. I actually took the opportunity to go and grab some lunch. Please give me some good news. Why is the fan spinning? 3, 2, 1. Okay, power. Don't beep off. Stay on. Fan's on. Okay. Cool. I don't know why the fan's just doing its thing. It's not a beep on, beep off. So this one's working. Wait there. Plug in HDMI. Plug in HDMI. Does it capture? Please tell me the HDMI is okay. Yes! Let's go! Oh, we have a good end to the story. That's it. All fixed. I mean, I used the donor board to fix that Xbox Series S. That is a massive win. I'll give this a full test off camera. There's no need for me to just waste your guys' time. But the Series S doesn't have a disk drive or anything, so there's not going to be too much to test. It's not always rainbows and sunshines, very much like the situation of the first Xbox Series S being left in the rain. If you've got nothing else to do, feel free to join me on a video over here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.